How's it going, YouTube? It's been a little minute. Let me put on my intelligent person glasses. So, yeah, today's actually a very special day for me, at least, because it marks the 1 year anniversary of me deciding to start this YouTube channel. And the reason why it's special to me isn't necessarily because it's an arbitrary temporal landmark, such as, 1 year on YouTube. Like, it is something noteworthy to celebrate because it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. But the reason why it's so important or so special to me is because this past year of my life has been the most up and down roller coaster year of my life, but it's also been the best. So, as I've mentioned before, I have wanted to make YouTube videos for a very long time, but what kind of stopped me from it was the inability to be specific, the inability to select a niche, the inability to make one type of content. From what I noticed, at least the successful YouTubers, which I've always watched, right, regardless of what time period, whatever, they always kind of stick to one thing, right? The streamers stream, the gamers game, the funny guy, the skit guys, they make skits, but not a lot of creatives or YouTubers or, whatever you want to call them, not a lot of them are, how do I say it? Not a lot of them are just nicheless in the sense of they just try things and they do things that are seemingly unconnected that different audiences would both appreciate, but a type of audience that is only accustomed to one type of thing might see as strange, right? Like, if I watch this guy make a philosophy video, why am I now watching him make funny videos, Not necessarily everybody might think like that, but some people are very, very specific with and deliberate in what they want to consume. So for a very long time, I've had that struggle, as I'm not really a specialist type of person that applies across many things, right? I always liked investing into the skill tree. I always liked putting skill points in different things and just being able to find connections. So if I had to put a title on myself, it wouldn't be specialist, it would be more so generalist. But even more specifically, even deeper into that generalist category, I would say something of a synthesist. My reason for liking many different things, or rather what I seem to like about liking many different things, is the connections. It's the ability to see between the lines and make connections to things which aren't seemingly connected, to try to find these invisible threads, these movers that operate things and put them together. So that's what I've always liked to do, and despite being, honestly, looking back at it or looking forward now, it isn't a weakness, it's a lot more of a strength. Being able to make connections across domains and find the in between and connect things is a beautiful thing. But for many years, it was the crux. It was the thing that held me back from creating videos. And so for this exact same reason, I eventually came to the conclusion that I needed to just make videos, that I needed to get away from this niche and not worry about putting a title on something. Because if you notice, language is naturally restrictive. When you put a title on something or when you give it a name, you sort of take away some of its power. You only describe it, but in describing it, that doesn't really capture the essence of it, right? For example, right, look at me. My name is Jay, right? But in saying that, I'm just saying my name is. I'm not saying what I am. I'm not saying what my essence is. I'm not saying what makes me, right? It's just a way of describing me. The same way that I can, sorry for this ambulance, but the same way I can touch my camera, right? I can touch my phone. I can say this is a phone, but saying it as a phone, saying that it's a phone doesn't tell you what it does, right? So putting a title and giving names and just worrying about something fitting an ideal box isn't the right way to go. And so a year ago, today exactly, I was on vacation in Puerto Rico and I got to experience tranquility, even if only for 3 days that I spent there, right? I got to experience tranquility and I got to see the world from a different lens, as I was clearly away from the hustle and bustle, the grit and grime, and the concrete jungle that is New York, right? And during this time, it was that I finally decided to press record. Apologies, I got to look at my notes a little bit. I decided to press record and I uploaded my first video titled "This Is Where It Starts," right? To this day, it's my second best performing video. My channel isn't very large. I only have 57 subscribers, but I have uploaded 24 videos. So that is something to pat myself on the back because, again, I've wanted to make videos forever, but something has just seemingly held me back. Whatever the case is, that is when I decided to upload this video, which again is exactly 1 year ago. And the content of the video was rather short. It was just an introduction, right? But on the outside, but to me it was much more than an introduction. It was very much a declaration and the fulfillment of a promise, or rather the establishment of a promise that is meant to be fulfilled. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That is the day where I established my creative identity and gave myself the chance. I allowed that childhood version of me who always dreamed of uploading and creating and making videos to do exactly that, freely, without having to worry about fitting in a box, you know? And in the time since, it's been an entire year, I've had lots of lessons. Exactly tomorrow as well, I hit another milestone. That will be 8 months since I decided to quit my corporate America job. I was working at a 4-star hotel and working 8 months in the industry. I was on my way to being a manager at the age of 22. But out of conflict, because I wanted to pursue a passion, I wanted to pursue a dream, I wanted to make something I've been dreaming of for a very long time come to fruition, I quit. And, you know, I quit because I wanted to make YouTube videos. I quit because I wanted to make art, right? Isn't that just fascinating? So in this time, I've made a whole bunch of mistakes. I mean, I say mistakes, but without these mistakes, I wouldn't have been able to extract a particular wisdom that is inseparable from these very mistakes. As, again, when the goal is experience, there isn't really such thing as loss, only lessons, right? So what I really want to do is share these lessons of mine, but before doing that, I sort of have to dispel a myth or a rumor or a topic of contention for many people, and it's the idea that mistakes are somehow bad in a world where everyone loves art. That is very contradictory because the first thing that you learn in art class is what? The first thing you learn in art class is that there's no mistakes in art. So as someone, such as myself, who is oddly fascinated with the art of documenting lived experience and fighting to find myself and sort of constructing a tapestry that is storytelling. That is my art. I can draw a little bit, but I'm not a painter. Perhaps I can make a pot, but I'm not a potter. I think that's what you call it, right? I like to write, but I wouldn't consider myself a writer necessarily. As I said, I just like doing a whole bunch of things, but what I definitely will consider myself is a storyteller. And so that's what I've been fascinated with for this past year, figuring out how to live the correct life so that I'm able to have the appropriate life experiences and convert that into material, but also refine the art of telling the stories. And if my first ever video was an introduction to what I'm doing or an introduction to who I am, this video will be an introduction to the direction.